Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Learn English Beyond Words. I'm John, and as always, I'm here with the brilliant Carol.
Hi, John. It's great to be here. And hello to all of you at home. Today we are tackling the number one complaint I hear from students. How do I stop translating in my head?
It's a huge issue, Carol. Just yesterday, 3 of my intermediate students told me that they feel like their brain is a slow translator. They hear English, translate it to their own language to understand it, and then do the whole process in reverse to speak.
It's exhausting. And the result is always the same: a long silence in the middle of a conversation. It makes people feel insecure, but the truth is, it's just a habit that needs to be broken.
Exactly. We're going to show you exactly how to break that habit today. And make sure you stay until the end, because Carol has a specific spoiler, a sign that happens in your sleep that proves your brain has finally switched to English mode.
It's a very cool moment when it finally happens. But first, let's set ourselves up for success with some key expressions.
Let's get the ball rolling. What's our first term?
Our goal today is to make English second nature. When a skill is second nature, you do it without thinking about the mechanics. It's automatic.
Like driving. You don't think, I am moving the steering wheel now. You just drive. But many students feel they are hitting a wall with their speaking.
Hitting a wall means you stop making progress even though you are trying. To move past that wall, we need to bypass your native language. To bypass means to avoid something or go around it.
I love that. We want to bypass the translation office in our heads. And as you practice, you will get the hang of it.
To get the hang of it means to learn how to do something that was difficult at first. It takes time, so you have to cut yourself some slack.
Cut yourself some slack, guys. It means stop being so hard on yourself. If you follow these steps, you will eventually turn the corner.
To turn the corner means to pass the most difficult part of a process. Once you turn the corner, fluency feels much closer.
Okay, Carol, let's be direct. My students often say, John, I read English books. I watch movies in English and I understand 90%. But when I speak, I can't find the words. Why is that?
Because reading and listening are passive skills, while speaking is an active skill. They use different parts of your brain.
Explain that for us.
When you read or listen, you are decoding information. The words are already there. You have time to process them. If you listen to a podcast, you can even pause it. Your brain has a low processing load.
But speaking is encoding.
Exactly. Speaking is active. You have to retrieve the words from your memory, arrange them with grammar, manage your pronunciation, and respond in real time. There is no pause button in a real conversation.
So, because speaking is so fast, the brain panics and reaches for the most familiar tool, the native language.
Correct. Most students try to improve their speaking by reading more. But that's like trying to learn to swim by reading a book about water. You are training the wrong skill. To stop translating, you have to train your brain to associate concepts directly with English words.
So, how do we start? How do we stop the translation?
We start with the labeling technique. It's the most direct way to build a connection between an object and an English word.
I tell my students to do this all day. When you look at your phone, don't think of the word in your language. Just think phone.
Exactly. This is not about sentences. It's about building a mental library. Spend 5 minutes a day pointing at things in your room. Table, chair, window, coffee. By doing this, you are teaching your brain to bypass the translation. You are connecting the image of the object directly to the English word.
I also suggest my students do this with actions. If you are walking, think walk. If you are drinking water, think drink.
That's perfect. It's about making the English word the first responder in your brain.
Hey guys, quick check-in. If you've ever felt like your brain is lagging during a conversation, let us know in the comments.
And if you want to support the channel and help us reach more students, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us keep going.
Okay, Carol, we've labeled the objects. Now, how do we start thinking in full sentences?
Once you are comfortable with labels, you move to life narration. This is where you talk to yourself in your head.
My students think this is a bit crazy. They say, "John, I don't want to be the person talking to myself at the supermarket."
You don't have to say it out loud. It's an inner monologue. When you are cooking, think, I am cutting the onions. The pan is hot. This smells good.
Why is this so effective?
Because there is no pressure. When you talk to a native speaker, you are nervous. Stress makes you translate. But when you are alone, you can practice the output without the fear of making a mistake. You are building the speaking habit in a safe environment.
What if they don't know a word? My students often stop the monologue because they get stuck on a specific word.
This is a vital moment. When you forget a word, do not use a translator. Instead, use circumlocution.
That's a big word. What does it mean?
It means talking around a word. If you don't know the word spatula, describe it. The thing I use to flip the eggs. If you can do this, you are effectively thinking in English because you are using the English you already have to solve a problem.
Okay, we've got the labels and the inner monologue. What's the next step to turn the corner?
You have to stop using translation dictionaries. This is the hardest part for most students, but it is necessary.
You mean switching to an English-to-English dictionary?
Yes, when you use a translation, you are reinforcing the link between English and your native language. When you use an English dictionary, you are learning how English speakers define concepts. You see synonyms, examples, and the natural flow of the language.
I always tell my students, a translation is a code, but a definition is a concept.
Exactly. And to make this even more powerful, change your phone's language to English.
Oh, I know that one. It's a bit scary at first, but it forces you to use English for simple daily tasks.
Precisely. You already know where the settings button is. You don't need your native language to find it. By seeing settings, privacy, and general every day, those words become second nature.
Okay, Carol, we've reached the end. Tell us about the spoiler. How does a student know they finally stopped translating?
It's the dream sign.
Tell me more.
Most people think it's when they have a long, perfect conversation in a dream, but that's actually very rare. The real sign is when you react in English in a dream without thinking.
Give us an example.
Imagine you are in a dream and someone asks you a question. If you answer, I don't know, or yes, of course, in English, naturally, that is the sign. Or if you trip in a dream and say, whoops, or ouch in English.
Because it shows that the English word is now the instant reaction in the subconscious mind.
Exactly. It means your brain has finally accepted English as a primary tool for communication. It's no longer an extra language. It's part of who you are.
That is so inspiring. I've seen it happen with my students, and they always come to class the next day looking so proud. Guys, if you are still translating today, please cut yourself some slack. It's a process. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just training.
Exactly. Every time you label an object or think one simple sentence in English, you are building that direct connection.
You've got this. We are so proud of the work you're putting in.
Thank you for joining us today. Keep practicing your inner monologue, and soon you'll be the one dreaming in English. Keep learning. Bye.
Bye. Bye.